The longest running joke in RealHomeRecording.com history may just be this video because it's finally, after long last, coming out to the public. As many of you may know, if you're longtime subscribers to RealHomeRecording.com, I have been an iZotope Ozone fan for a very long time. I bought Ozone 4, the box version. Yes, it exists. Here it is. The box version of Ozone 4, which also, when I got it, I could upgrade to Ozone 5, but just the standard version. But the first time I used Ozone was Ozone version 3. I demoed it back in the year 2008. I also was gifted a copy of Ozone 7 Advanced, which I've been using ever since. So a few months back, an iZotope representative contacted me and said, "Hey Adam, do you want to check out the new Ozone 9? I said, "Sure." You know, it's been, I think at that point 5 years since Ozone 7 came out. I skipped Ozone 8. I said, okay, Ozone 9 looks interesting. It has a few features that I'd like to try out. I said yes. And I was like, all right, well, I'm definitely going to review this, but that was like back in September. So finally, here we are in whatever month this video was finally released. For those of you who don't know, Ozone is a suite of audio processors that are intended for music mastering, but they can of course be used during mixing as well. For this video series, I'm using version 9.0.3, which was released in December 2019. iZotope sent me a license to check out Ozone 9 Advanced, and instead of just doing a review for it, I decided I'd do a whole tutorial series, because although I've been an Ozone user for a long time, I never really dove deep into all the options that it afforded me. Version 9 features multiple equalizer types, a few different compressor types, an excellent brick wall limiter, a tape emulation, mix referencing, lossy codec preview, a top tier dither called Mbit Plus, and much more. Included with the installer is a standalone application. So like I said earlier, Ozone has a lot of features, and when you first try it out, it may be overwhelming. And that's what this video series aims to help you with. I'll do my best to break down this plugin so that you can use it to its full potential. Most of my information comes directly from the user manual. The other part comes from my experience using the plugin on various mixes. Once you learn how to use the main plugin, also known as the Ozone 9 mothership, the individual component plugins are easy to use. So, before we get started, make sure to set your digital audio workstation software buffer size to a higher one. I usually select 1024, but for larger mixes, 2048 or higher can be useful. In Reaper, which is the DAW that I use, we can find this by clicking in the upper right corner, going up to Audio Device, which is already selected, and then in this area, that's where you can find 1024 or 2048, along with in your different audio interface drivers, go to Setup, set ASIO buffer size, and make sure that 1024 is selected. Usually your DAW will make sure that your audio interface matches whatever its buffer settings are, but if not, you have to do it that way. So again, this is called the Mothership plugin. If you have Ozone 9 Advanced, you can actually use individual modules. This is a list of all of them on screen right now. For this video, I'm only going to show the Mothership though, which is broken up into 4 main parts. The top part is called the global header. You don't have to remember that, but that's what iZotope calls it. From left to right, we have the inter-plugin communication name editor. That's this right here. That's why you can click it and call it whatever you want. I'm going to name it after myself because I'm a narcissist. But anyway, You can call it whatever you want, and then basically with iZotope's different library of software, if you have their little interconnector plugin, which I am drawing a blank on right now, but yes, if you have that plugin, it will show up as that name. And this comes in handy for, let's say that you have a bunch of different instances of Ozone loaded. You could call one of them Ozone Trumpet or Ozone Guitar Bus, something like that. Let me rename it to the default. To the right, we have perhaps the most interesting feature of Ozone 9, which is the Master Assistant button. This is the easy mode. This is like those online mastering services, but instead of going online, you have it right in a plugin. It's very simple to use. Step 1, 2, and 3, which I'm going to talk about this in another video, but I wanted to show you it for right now. To the right of Master Assistant, we have our Global Preset Manager. And in here, you have built-in presets, and there are a lot of them. When I first started using Ozone, basically what I did is I played my mix and went through all these different presets one by one. And as you go down, I'm pressing the down arrow, your different mix will change. Let me actually do that in the context of a real piece of audio right here. So I'll start with the default, which has no modules loaded. And I'm going to hit play, and then I'm going to hit one of these, and then keep scrolling. And you have to remember, a bunch of different plugins are loading at the same time, so depending on how fast your system is, it may take a couple seconds to load everything up while everything's playing. So yes, this is very useful for the newbies, along with Master Assistant. Let me clear it, go back to the default. Speaking of clear, to the right of the Presets Manager is the Undo button. This is very important because your DAW may not support undoing plugins. To the right of that is Redo, in case you accidentally hit the Undo button or you change your mind. To the right of that, the Ozone 9 settings window. That'll pop up, and as you can see, we have a bunch of different tabs and settings that we can modify. I'll go into a little bit more detail later. To the right of the settings button is the Help Documentation button. If you click this, it loads up your web browser and you can see the user manual, which again is where I got a lot of my information from. If you scroll down, you can see all the different modules to the left and the first page on this. The second section that I want to talk about is directly below the global header, and this is called the signal chain. Here you'll see an overview of whatever modules you've loaded. You can adjust their order. Let me add a few so you can see that. Change their order. You can of course close them with the X button in the upper right. You can add another one by clicking on plus. Select the different ones by clicking on it. The bypass button is the upper left. To solo a module, press the S button. And then there are actually individual module preset managers. And of course, if you want to add your own presets, hit the plus button. I'll close it for now. Now, speaking of modules, that's the next section that I want to talk about, which is this area right here. When you add a module, and I'll choose one of the equalizers, that appears right here. And every module has the same setup. In the top center, we can choose how the module processes audio. By default, the equalizer is in stereo mode, but we can also choose mid-side, also known as sum and difference, or left and right. To change it back, just click on the name again and put it back into default. I'll go more into detail about each module in separate videos. The fourth and final section is called the Input-Output panel, and it includes meters, global gain controls, channel operations including swap, mono summing, and more. If you click on the little I/O button, it brings up some options. At the bottom, there's a gain link. And remember, if you unlock it, change your setting, and then relink it, the controls will be relative. If you look really carefully, next to those is a plus and minus button. These change the scale of the meter. Let me play some audio so you can understand what I mean by that. Usually the default works out pretty well, particularly for mastering. So these sliders right here on the input and output, you can either click and drag them. If you double click, it resets to the default. If your mouse has a scroll wheel, you can also use that. Just hover over one of the areas and go up and down. Underneath the I/O panel are audition controls. These buttons right here. Bypass is a global processing disable function, meaning everything gets bypassed. Underneath that is the mono sum, so all your channels are now one channel. Next to that is the channel swap, so whatever's coming out of your left speaker is now going to come out of your right speaker, and vice versa. The gain match button goes hand in hand with the bypass button. When you turn it on, Ozone will try to automatically balance the volume between unprocessed audio and the audio that Ozone 9 processes. The reference button opens up the reference tool where you can add different music that's already been mastered or other mixes that may be in whatever you're working on at the moment. It supports a variety of different file formats. To the left of the reference button is the A/B button, which turns whatever you have loaded up on or off. It basically bypasses this module. I'll come back to that in a later video. The codec button, click it, and you can see different options here. I forgot to turn it on. There we go. So we have either MP3 or AAC. And the idea is for us to be able to hear an approximation of what our different mixes and masters will sound like once they are compressed to either MP3 or the AAC format at different bit rates. You can also solo the artifacts so we can see what's been removed from the audio. And finally, we have dither options, which, if you're putting your music on a CD, is essential for the utmost in quality. I'll go into detail about dither options in another video. Finally, to resize the plugin, go to the bottom right corner here and click and drag it to make the window bigger. And maybe I'll just leave it here. It's important to understand the Ozone 9 signal chain, because it's not exactly obvious. First of all, the input gain control is the very first thing in the chain. So whatever you set this to is what the first module will hear, is what the first module will get. So all your modules happen, with the exception of the maximizer and the vintage limiter. After the final module, the output gain is the next in the signal chain. This setting over here. And again, if you want the left and right controls separated, go down here, click the unlink button. You can drag it to wherever you want, and then if you want, you can click it again and the controls stay the same. I said this earlier, but I didn't show it. The final three blocks in the signal chain are dither, codec preview, and then finally the output meter. As I said earlier, the different modules that you can pick from come in handy for two reasons. They use less CPU and automation. Would you rather go through all these different parameters on the full Ozone 9 menu or just these? I know which one I'd choose. Ozone 9 also comes with another plugin called Tonal Balance Control version 2, and the idea of this plugin is to analyze your mixer master, and then you choose these different presets here, and as you play the audio, you'll see these little lines come up, and they should be within the guides here, we'll call them. And those are definitely outside of the boundaries. But the idea is that they've analyzed a bunch of different music, and most of the frequency spectrum sections land within the blue areas. If I switch it to rock, it should be a little bit closer. Again, this is for a complete mix, not individual tracks. And what I was saying earlier about the inter-plugin communication right here. If I were to rename this from Ozone, we'll call it Atom. It should change under this menu. And there it is. But in this video, I'm not going to talk anymore about tonal balance control. Alright, thank you for watching the Ozone 9 Mothership video. Feel free to check out the other videos in this series. I'll probably make a playlist just for these videos. And the next video that you'll see on screen will be the first one in the series. Thanks for watching this one, and don't forget to leave a like. This has been Adam for RealHomeRecording.com.